In this video, we're going to show you how to install a strut mount on your Volvo S60 located on the top of your strut. Using our 19mm socket, we're going to loosen and remove the lug studs. Go ahead and grab that wheel, remove it, and set it aside. Now with the wheel removed, you want to go ahead and locate your ABS wire right here, and it's held in place by a little bracket on the strut. You're simply going to go ahead and grab that wire. I'm going to use a finger on each side of it. You don't want to grab the wire and pull on it because you can damage that wire. So one behind, one in front, and go ahead and rotate this out. Sometimes that rubber can be a little sticky, so little tip. Little blast of spray solvent, and sometimes that'll help slide it right out. There it is. Now if you follow it up, there's one more bracket on the back side here. Let's go ahead and repeat that process. I'll slide that out. Let's separate our sway bar end link from the strut. This here is an 18mm nut, and we did spray down with a rust penetrant. Let's see if we can loosen this. Again, set that nut aside, and then we can go ahead and push that link over. Just get it out of the way. Now I'm going to remove the nut on this here. I'm going to leave the bolt in place for now, and I'm going to repeat the same for the lower bolt. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and set up a securing strap to keep our knuckle here from pulling too far out towards you once we remove these two bolts holding the knuckle to the strut. We don't want to pull on this flex hose here, and we don't want to have this ABS wire stretch or pull at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a securing strap. We're going to come over the top, and we're going to bring it down right over to our control arm over here. And we're going to go over the back side of the lip, a little bit of an edge there. And we're going to bring it right over the top here. Now there's a flat edge right here where the strap is going to fit in there nice. And then we're going to go underneath our ABS wire. And we're going to bring this over to our sway bar in the back. Now you might be able to do something a little bit different. You might have a different size strap, shorter, longer, whatever it is. You just want to go ahead and make sure that when we remove this here, we can separate our strut from the knuckle, and this isn't going to pull out towards you, causing any other problems. So at this point, we can go ahead and remove our bolts. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a screwdriver. You can use a pry bar. You want to go ahead and make sure that the strut is free floating from the knuckle itself. You might have some corrosion on here on your particular model. Go ahead and spray it down with some rust penetrant and break that free. Now let's go ahead and move up top, up into the engine compartment and work on the top of that strut. Now on the top side here, we're going to locate our 3 points of contact for our upper strut assembly. Now we're going to use our 13mm socket, loosen and remove these 3 locking nuts here. Now I'm going to use a rag here. I'm going to clean off around the washers here. Now when we're removing a strut assembly, if there's slotted holes or anything like that, I like to go ahead and take a Sharpie marker and I just kind of mark a couple of points of reference here around where things should line back up, our washers, because this could set a preliminary setting for an alignment when we drop our strut or install our strut back up in a position. Now we're going to use our deep 13mm socket to loosen and remove these nuts. Now you want to pay attention to this here. Once you remove these two and you go to the last one, the strut is going to start to shift and may drop down into the wheel well area. Now we're not going to just zip this one out completely. We're going to do this and watch our strut, and we can see it start to lower. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach inside the wheel well. I'm just going to kind of grab that strut assembly and hold it. Drop down inside here, and I'm going to try and control the movement as we pull our knuckle out here. Now when doing this here, you want to try not to damage your CV axle boot underneath. That's why you want to pull down on our knuckle assembly and manipulate our strut. Shift it off. And just work this out without damaging the paint on your fender. There we go. Let's go ahead and install this unit. I want to go ahead and use our pocket screwdriver and pop off the cap on the top of the strut assembly. Now this is not normal when you're just assembling a strut assembly. This is unique. And we're able to loosen this here because there was a capture nut underneath this bearing plate that holds the spring assembly together. So we're going to use a 21mm socket and loosen and remove this nut. Take your new bearing plate here, studs facing up. Slip that into place. Washer. And let's go ahead and tighten this down. Now, if you have the ability to do so, you want to go ahead and torque down this nut to 52 foot-pounds. I'm going to feed your strut into position here. Be careful not to damage your fender. All right, now we can feed our strut up in a position and work it around that strap on the knuckle. Now the big thing is we need to go ahead and position our bearing plate. All Position our strut up top. With one hand, pull a strut up into the body and start to get the 3 anchoring nuts in position. Now down below, it's gonna help us if we go ahead and get our knuckle and strut bolt installed here. We're just gonna push down here, work this in. Even if we just get one in, I'm gonna go for that bottom bolt too. All right, we got it in enough. I'm gonna just pull up here, and it pulls our strut up in a position. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and snug down these 3 nuts on the top. And before we snug these down, we are going to what we're going to do is make sure where we had marked with our markers, we have our washers lining up, because what that's going to do is help us with a preliminary alignment, because these are slotted holes. So just make sure that these are loose enough where we can move this. There we go. There we go. See that movement there? That's what we want. I'm going to position our strut so that our washers line up with those black marker points that we had. Now our washers line up nice with those marker points. We know that our preliminary alignment is set. Now let's go and torque these down to 18 foot-pounds. Now we also have the 3 lock nuts to pop on here. I'm going to go ahead and secure these to 18 as well. Don't forget, on top of your strut, pop on your cap. At this point here, it's safe for us to go ahead and remove our securing strap. Be careful removing that. Don't get it caught on anything and yank it out, causing damage. Go ahead and push in that lower knuckle to strut bolt. And let's go ahead and get those nuts started on here. And once you have these secure, you want to go ahead and torque them down to 77 foot-pounds. And do the same for the lower. Take your ABS wire. You want to go ahead and pop this into place. You have the bracket here and then the bracket on the strut. It's going to make it easier for you to do so. Spray down the rubber with some solvent here. Gotta line that up. And go ahead and work that in. Here it is. Go ahead and grab that end link. Go ahead and pop that into place. Let's go ahead and tighten that down. Torque down the sway bar end length to 37 foot-pounds. Now at this point here, after you've completed this job, we did alter suspension components and some geometry. We did set a preliminary alignment by marking the upper strut mounting point underneath the hood. However, you do need to have this vehicle professionally aligned. It's going to prevent premature component wear as well as premature tire wear. You can grab that wheel. I like to line up one of the lug holes here with the hole in the rotor, usually about 12 o'clock position, and get that top one started. And then go ahead and get the other ones started in place. Once we get them all started, we can snug them down. When doing this here, it's best to do it in a crisscross or a star pattern. Let's go ahead and torque them. Now that we have our lug studs installed, let's go ahead and torque them down to 103 foot-pounds. You want to do this in a crisscross pattern or a star pattern. And you're all set. After finishing this installation, it's important to have an alignment done on your vehicle.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.